Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to do a video on converting units, and this is especially important in science classes as you get into high school and university. Physics, chemistry, biology, all those things are so, they rely so heavily on your ability to convert between units fluidly. So let's go ahead and start off with our 45 kilometers an hour. So I'm going to write this in a more fractional form as 45 kilometers per hour, and we know that in the end, we would like our units to be meters per second. I'm going to write that as a fraction as well. I'm going to write that as meters per second, like that. Okay. Now, all along the way, we're simply going to let the units lead the way. We're going to let the units conversions lead us to our end product, and the numbers along the way will just go along for the ride. We don't have to think, do we have to divide, do we have to multiply? All of that will become clear once we have our units properly laid out, okay? And you'll see what I mean. So first off, we're going from kilometers to meters, So let's write out the relationship between those two quantities. We have that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters, okay? And secondly, we want to convert our hours into seconds. And so to establish a relation between those two quantities, we know that 1 hour is 3,600 seconds, right? 60 seconds per minute and 60 minutes per hour. So 3,600 seconds per hour, okay? Now, the first thing we're gonna do, and the order doesn't matter, I'm just gonna go ahead and convert the kilometers into meters first. You can do the hours to seconds first, it really doesn't matter. But let's go ahead with kilometers to meters. So we need meters to end up in the numerator, we need meters to end up on top, and we need the kilometers to cancel out. And so in our second fraction here that we're gonna multiply, I'm going to use this equivalency to write 1 kilometer in the denominator and 1,000 meters on top in the numerator. The reason we do this is because the first thing we need to do is to cancel out the kilometers. Analogous to when we simplify down, when we multiply fractions, we can simplify down units as well. And since we have kilometers in the numerator here and in the denominator here, they're going to cancel out nicely. One is on top, one is on the bottom, and so they cancel out. And more than that, we get our meters on top. And that's exactly what we wanted to appear in the end. And so we're good to go so far. The second step is to convert hours into seconds. Now, this time we have hours as the units in the denominator. If we hope to cancel those out, they should appear on top in the numerator in our second fraction here. And so we're going to use the equivalence that 1 hour is 3,600 seconds in here to convert the hours into seconds, okay? So you'll notice that hours are now in the denominator and in the numerator, and so they cancel out nicely. And we also get our seconds in the bottom, in the denominator, exactly as we hoped. And so we're good to go so far. So now we have kilometers are canceled out, hours are canceled out, and we have meters on top, and we have seconds on the bottom, and so everything looks good so far. I'm going to give us a bit more room to operate, meters per second. And now, if you're wondering, when do I multiply, when do I divide? It's clear by the way we wrote out our unit analysis, right? The numbers just go along for the ride. It's the units that lead the way. It's the units that dictate how the numbers are gonna line up. The numbers just go along for the ride. And so there's no thinking involved in that sense. With your calculator, or if you want to do it cognitively, practice your mental math, we're going to have 45 times 1,000 divided by 1, but divided by 1 does nothing. Then we're going to have times 1, again, multiplying by 1 does nothing. So really what we have is 45 times 1,000 and then divided by 3,600, reminding you that a fraction is really just a division, right? So over 3,600, it means divided by 3,600, okay? So 45 times 1,000 is 45,000, divided by 3,600 gives us 12.5 meters per second. And there we have it, okay? So it's all about lining up your units so that they cancel out where they need to cancel out, they end up where they need to end up, and the values, the numbers that go along with them, just tag along for the ride. Okay, you don't have to worry when you have to multiply, when you have to divide, let the units lead the way, okay? So let's do one more example. Example 2, we're gonna look at 25 liters per week. Let's say that's some quantity of water that some human drank. And we're gonna convert that into milliliters per minute, okay? So let's first off establish two relationships, one between liters and milliliters. And of course, 1 liter is 1,000 milliliter. And secondly, we have weeks into minutes. Now, how many minutes are in a week? Well, we know that 1 week is 7 days. 1 day is equal to 24 hours. And 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And so 1 week is therefore equivalent to 7 times 24 times 60. Let's use a calculator to figure that number out. 7 times 24. 7 times 24 is 168. And 168 times 60 is 10,080 minutes. Okay? So that's how many minutes we're going to be looking at during the course of a full week. Okay? So 1 week is 10,080 minutes. And 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. Okay? So exactly like we wrote it up here, let's write our initial quantity, our initial ratio, let's say in some sense, as a fraction. So we have 21 liters per 1 week. Okay, I'll omit the 1, but it's per 1 week, right? And we want to end up with milliliters per minute. Okay? So we want to change the liters into milliliters, the weeks into minutes. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's start off by converting the liters into milliliters. Again, we could do the weeks to minutes first, and you can do that if you'd rather, but the order doesn't matter. We're multiplying at every step of the way, and so order does not matter, okay? So if we want to go from liters into milliliters, the liters are on top in the numerator here, and so if we wish to cancel them, they need to end up on the bottom here, so that they'll cancel out in the top here. And so 1 liter in our denominator, that's equivalent to 1,000 milliliters, right? And so we're going to write 1,000 milliliters on top. And now we have the liters canceling out and the milliliters on top, exactly like we wanted, okay? Next up, we want to change the weeks into minutes. And so we have established the relationship that 1 week is equivalent to 10,080 minutes. Now, the weeks are in the denominator, the bottom here, and so if they want to cancel out, they need to be on top in the numerator in this step. So 1 week is 10,080 minutes. And now, give myself a bit more room to operate. And now we have our conversions ready to go. Because our liters canceled out, we can see that the week in the denominator and the week in the numerator on top and on the bottom, those cancel out nicely. And so what we have left is milliliters on top, like we wanted, and minutes on the bottom, just like we wanted. And so again, our units are leading the way. We just worry about getting our units matched up in a line properly. And if they are, if we do convert our units like we wanted to, the values, the numbers just go on for the ride. So there's no thinking of when to multiply, when to divide. We're just going with the units. And so let's go ahead and multiply 25 by 1,000. So 25 times 1,000, that's 25,000. And then this is over 10,080. And so I'll remind you that a fraction is a division. And so 25,000 divided by 10,080. Again, that's going to be a messy decimal. You can do that on a calculator if you'd like. 25,000 divided by 1,080 is 2.48. And so we'll keep 2 decimal places and we'll have 2. I'm used to French here. 2.48 milliliters per minute. And so if you've ever wondered how fast you have to drink water to drink 25 liters a week, you'd have to drink roughly 2.48 milliliters every minute of the day. Okay? So I hope this provided you some insight into how to convert units. Again, we start off by always establishing the relationships we're gonna have to use later on, just to make our lives a little bit easier, and then we let our units lead us into our final value, and the numbers along the way just tag along for the ride, right? It's really the units that decide how things are going to align, okay? So if you guys have any questions, comments, please let me know. Any requests for future videos are always appreciated, and thanks for watching.